Welcome to She Who Rises, the interview series where we shine a light on the bold, the brilliant, and the resilient women who are part of the ambitious Ladies of London community. I'm your host, Lorraine Quick, and together we'll explore the stories of women who are navigating life transitions, rediscovering their purpose, and redefining ambition. These conversations are casual, real, and they are heartfelt. And they are designed to inspire you with wisdom, courage, and the reminder that we rise higher when we rise together. Today, I'm excited to welcome Cori Josias, a life and love relationship coach who leads men and women over 50 to create a life and a love where they feel fulfilled. In our conversation today, we'll explore her journey, the lessons she's learned along the way, and the inspiring message she has for women everywhere. So, my friends, let's just get started. This is She Who Rises. Cori, my first question is, what chapter of life are you in right now? And what are you navigating or embracing?
Thank you, Laureen. Well, that's a great question. And to be honest with you, I guess, what some people would call the third act. So, chronologically, that's the phase I'm in. But I would say I'm the sort of person who is always in a phase of reinvention. And when you said women who are bold, brilliant, and resilient, that really struck me because to create a great life, you do have to be that, and you do have to be courageous. So I'm always exploring how I can deepen my service to other people.
Excellent. Excellent. And I agree totally with you. I think you have to be bold and you have to be resilient to live your best life because there will always be challenges and there will always be critics who will tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. And you have to be willing and able to overcome all those obstacles in order to stay on your true path and follow your heart. So, when you think about this third chapter that you're in, what has helped you stay connected to your purpose, or have you gone through a process of rediscovering your purpose?
I think what happens, I'm someone who has a very, very varied background, more than most people. Um, so I just, I'm tend to just gravitate towards whatever lights me up. I started life as a professional singer and songwriter. I did that for about 15 years, and then the work started to dry up, and I learned sign language, and I went into a school and I saw the deaf kids there weren't getting a fair shake. So I decided to become a teacher of the deaf, and I did that for about 15 years. Then I got very tired of the public sector telling me what to do. So I reinvented myself. I started doing coaching, but I also got offered a job as a high ticket salesperson, which was really interesting because I'd never done sales. And I absolutely flew at it. I really excelled because I had a capacity through all the work I'd done, probably as a teacher of the deaf, and that involves listening closely to families. Um, I developed the capacity to listen really well, and that's a fundamental asset that you can really use for a lot of things in life. So I sort of moved from high ticket sales into coaching.
Mhm.
And I think for me, what always informs my choices is my life experience. So if I meet someone and they have so I got divorced. So that's why I started doing relationship coaching. I decided to get divorced at 57. And so everything I've done has been informed by either a desire to express my gifts or a desire to the term be of service sounds a little bit holy, and that's not what I mean, but really to serve people. So I'm always informed by I see a gap and I go for it. Did I answer your question or did I answer a different question?
No, you did answer my question, and what I really heard from you was, Corey, you are a person who doesn't get stuck for long any one place. When things go stale or they become stagnant, you look around and go, "What's next?" And then I heard you're also a woman who every experience you have, you learn from.
That's
And
true.
and out of all of that, you bring all of those learnings into the next, whatever next chapter you're going through, it sounded to me, and you evolve and you grow. And this listening piece was really important, I think, in terms of being able to hear what people are saying, whether it's, most people think all you have to do is listen to the words, but you listen to the emotions underneath and behind those words. And that's when people feel heard and understood. And that's the beginning of where you can actually move and shift things in your life when you're at that place. So as a coach, I imagine you're phenomenal in that regard.
You. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you.
I speak the
Be-
truth.
Well, it's really interesting because that whole listening part of the piece, I remember I went through, probably it was 20 years ago now. I went through a bit of a health crisis. I got this it was a very rare thing that you're supposed to get in childhood, and I caught it as an adult, and I ended up being in the hospital. And I have a strong Buddhist practice.
Mhm.
So I used that practice to help me get over it. And I remember being in conversation with a Buddhist leader. I was a leader as well. I remember thinking, she's not listening to anything I'm saying.
Mhm.
And at that point, I made a really strong commitment, almost like a prayer, to become a better listener. Like I really seriously made the decision. I didn't just come upon this ability to listen. I made the decision to become increasingly good at listening. Now, I'm good at it, but I think there are so many layers to this. I mean, even learning to keep silent for long enough as a coach is a huge gift to your client and knowing when to stop them from going down a rabbit hole. So, yeah, I think that I just wanted to throw that in there because I think there's a lot of talk about being a natural, but actually, we do make decisions which affect the way our life goes. And I think that was one of the big defining moments for me.
I love it. I love it. It's a great example of how to live your life, how to look for opportunities to grow and shift and change when you're allowing yourself to be totally honest with yourself and your shortcomings, and then looking for opportunities to enhance your contribution. Yes, it's perfect. When you think about these last few years, how has your friendships shaped your experiences? Have your friends played a vital role or sort of a secondary role, or where have they been in your life and your business as you've grown?
Well, my friends, most of my friends who are my close friends have been around for more than 20 years. And so they're just always going to be my close friends. I'm pretty selective
Mhm.
about who I choose. And so if people aren't supportive, then I probably wouldn't keep them in my life. In terms of my business life, I would say it's more about the communities I joined. So last year I was in a high-level mastermind with some other female coaches and entrepreneurs, and I think I did develop some close friendships through that.
Mhm.
And so being able to have conversations with other people who are in a similar line of work has been really helpful. But I would say I'm very discriminating about who I give my time to now. And I think that's one of the privileges of age is that you learn to be much more selective. I'm going to be 69 in a couple weeks' time. So I really feel that it's I don't know, what do you think? Do you find you get more selective as you get older?
Absolutely. I am also very intentional about who I allow into my inner circle. So I have a lot of friends, but they're more acquaintance friends versus close, deep friends. And then I have
Mhm.
a smaller circle of women who know more about who I am. And absolutely, if they were not supportive of me, I couldn't have them in that circle anymore. Um, and I think your friends also, they always say that thing about the five people you hang out with the most is who you become. They also inspire you, right? They support and encourage us, but our friends also inspire us. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's important to really be, I think, very choosy. And I feel as I've gotten older, it's easier for me to just do that. I don't care anymore about being perceived as nice or
yes,
friendly or whatever that might be. I mean, I think I am those things, but at the same time, I'm not worried about other people's judgment around that. It's really important to me who I am with, um, and who I hang out.
exactly,
Yeah, I get that.
exactly.
So have you also in this time, this third chapter of your life, found that your experiences in love, in leadership, and even in your overall confidence, has that also shifted for you?
Oh my goodness. It's been absolutely amazing. And again, another defining moment was when I chose to get divorced at 57. I was in a relationship with someone who's basically he's a good man,
Mhm.
but he was very controlling in not in a, not in a nasty narcissistic way, but he was in charge of the money and he was a little bit patriarchal in that respect. And so when I made the decision to leave that, I knew that I was going to have to be responsible for my own finances. That's a big jump. Um, and so I was also out on the dating scene, which helped me a lot with being, I've been a dating coach as well. In fact, I still have a few clients who are over 50 and they're interested in dating. And I went out and I met a new partner. We've been together for 4 years. He's younger than I am. He's super supportive, never questions my business or life choices.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's really interesting how I have changed in what my expectations of a relationship are. Like I'm in charge of my life. And so everything has changed since that decision to leave my husband. Everything has changed because I've taken control of my life and I make choices that are healthy choices rather than unhealthy choices. And so, yeah, it's been incredible. I can honestly say the past uh, 12 years of my life have been amazing
Mhm.
in a way that I mean I have to be fair, I've had an amazing life. Being in the music business for 15 years was pretty exciting too. But again, that was founded on the on being independent enough to make my own way. So just talking to you about it now, Laureen, I'm thinking that when we become truly self-reliant, independent, um, but very focused, we can create what we want. We really can.
Mhm.
Much more agency than we think. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree. And I mean, I think that all links into confidence that, when we first, at least for me, when I was young, in my 20s, and I met my husband to be and married and had kids, I surrendered to all of those roles. And at the time, for me, that was the right thing to do. But what you just said really in my mind, it's like you've really hit the nail on the head, so to speak, with the hammer, right? That you reach a point where you're fully and completely responsible for yourself. And then when you go into relationships with others, when you are leading groups of people, you have a different perspective on I'm not here to control, I'm not here to babysit. I'm not here to tell you
Yeah,
how to do it. I'm expecting you to come full on as a grown adult, with your own passions, your own skills, your abilities, your power, and we collaborate together on those things versus, one of us surrenders and the other and follows while the other one leads. So
yeah,
it's more partnership, truly. It's more collaborative. Yeah, and it goes back to what we just talked about earlier, picking the people that will work with you in that at that level
Absolutely.
wanting you
Abs-
to surrender or wanting to surrender to you, as the case may be. Yeah, it's
Yep.
we have less time in my mind, so I won't take it anymore. It's like, nope, I need you to either step up or it just isn't going to work. Yeah. So
And
that leads me into my next question, really, and I find this one the most interesting of all of these interview questions that I ask. How do you define ambition at this point in your life? What does that word mean to you?
that's a good one. How do you define ambition?
Mhm.
I think for me, and this goes into my work as a coach, really. It's about being committed to doing things even when they're uncomfortable. So if you're ambitious, you there's two aspects. There's the process of being ambitious, isn't there? And that involves taking uncomfortable action, I think. And there's ambition, which is, some people's ambition would be to have an easy life. It's just not something I'm interested in. Ambition for me is getting to do, choosing the things I love to do. Retirement isn't even on my radar because I love what I do. And so I'm ambitious to just keep building. That's my ambition is to keep building. And actually, I will say that money does come into it. I think it's a topic that we can sometimes avoid as women, but I think money does come into it because to run a business and not get paid for it, I think I'm doing other people a disservice if I do that.
Mhm.
Because when people who pay attention.
Yeah, it's that skin in the game, right? You've put your money in the game, so you're going to pay attention, and also you're going to do the work, whatever that might take. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And also, like again, that links back to confidence. Are you willing? Do you have the confidence to charge what you're worth as a businesswoman in her 50s, 60s, and beyond, right?
I guess so, but you see, I think the word confidence, would you be okay with me challenging you on this?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I I think the word confidence is overused a lot in our space because I think that action builds the muscle of confidence. And
Agree.
that to say that we have to become confident before we can do something is putting the cart before the horse because I didn't become confident by by never reaching out to someone or never having an uncomfortable conversation or never putting my prices up or never asking for what I decided I'm worth. And as soon as a price point starts to feel comfortable for me, I know it's time to change it. So I think we build the muscle of confidence through taking the uncomfortable action.
And you know what? I couldn't agree more with you on that. I think, I guess what I am when I think about my own experience, I'm 67. Uh,
Hmm.
that confidence is built on the fact that I'm no longer holding back. So I'm no longer
Fabulous.
holding back and rethinking my thoughts and wondering what everyone else is thinking. And so I'm just doing what I want to do. And then over time, I have indeed become a lot more confident in the things that I do in my life and in my business because I'm no longer holding back. And I am taking action, right? So, of course, yes, I think that's important to make note of. You have to take action, and action builds confidence.
Yeah. And also, I love the fact that we're of a similar age because I think there is something in the fact that you do. I remember when I went to my first workshop that was a perimenopause workshop, and the woman there said, one of the things that happens when you go through menopause is you start to care less about what other people think, and you just get on with, you become really very strong. So, something to look forward to for the younger listeners of this podcast. Everyone talks about the wrinkles, right? They don't talk about the benefits of getting older, which are huge. They're huge.
This is the best time of my life. in my
There
opinion.
you go.
My third act or my third chapter, or whatever we're calling it, is the
Yeah,
best time of my life.
it is. It's great.
If so, I'm going to jump on and move into the next question, and that's really around what advice would you give other women who are beginning to enter into this season of life?
Gosh. Step up now because you ain't got much time left. You know, it's now or never, ladies. Um, get support if you want it. By all means, reach out to me. I always gift people coaching sessions in the beginning to see if it's for them. Shameless self-promotion there. Uh, yeah, just I here's what I would say because when I went through my divorce, the biggest thing was why didn't I do it sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? There is zero value in that narrative. So if you have a narrative of why didn't I do it sooner, you just need to drop it because you are absolutely placed right now. It doesn't matter what your age is, you're placed to do what to change whatever it is you need to change and to create whatever it is you need to create. And frankly, I think age has very little to do with it unless you want to be a teen model, which of course you can't because you're not a teenager. But you can create what you want to create. I believe that's your line of work too, isn't it? Laureen, from what I've seen, is helping women of a certain age
Yes.
get more confident about their lives. Is that correct?
I am very passionate and committed to helping women over 50 live their best life.
Yeah, exactly.
Would tell them the same thing. You don't have a
Yeah,
minute. And the truth of the matter is, even if you're 20 or you're 30, you don't have a minute to waste because none of us know how long we are going to be on this planet,
true.
in this
It's
life.
true.
And so, if there are things you want to do, start doing them. Do not
Yeah,
wait.
exactly.
Perfect moment. Don't wait for the money. Don't wait for the husband. Don't wait for anything. Get out there and just start doing what it is you want to do because you don't have a minute to waste. And
That's
what a
brilliant.
life that's so full of activity and adventure and fun and friends, and fill your life with all those good things because it can be gone in a second. So,
Sadly.
how has being part of the Ambitious Ladies of London community impacted your journey, Cori, personally or professionally?
Well, to be honest, I'm fairly new there. I've been in for a couple months, and I would say the biggest thing is that it's given me the opportunity to do like they have speaking events and stuff like that. And so in a way for me, some of it's been about honing my message and making it clearer, if I'm really honest. From a business perspective, like direct transactions, it's not really on the table yet. I'm just building new friendships, new relationships, and spreading my message.
Wonderful.
At the risk of sounding too selfish, but that is what it's been for me so far.
It sounds pretty perfect to me. I would say the same for me as well. It's about making connections and friendship and support. And
Mm,
that's the power, I think, of this organization. It's not about selling yourself to someone. That I didn't join Ambitious Ladies of London for that. I joined for the friendship, the support, the connections. Yeah, and we grow both personally and professionally from that. If someone was thinking about joining Ambitious Ladies of London, what might you say to them?
Same as I say to other things, do it. If you feel like you want to do it, then do it. Make it happen.
Exactly. And no risk. Join. Find out what
And you get what you put in. I would also say that, if you want to make it a valuable investment of your time and or your money, you need to invest, just as you and I are doing here.
exactly. Great advice. I appreciate that. Well, I want to end by just saying thank you so much, Corey, for coming here today, sharing your story and your wisdom with us. Your journey reminds us that rising isn't always about achievement, but it's about courage and growth and the power of showing up as our true selves. If you would like to connect with Cori, you will find her links listed in the show notes, and I would encourage you wholeheartedly to reach out to her, support her work, and continue this conversation. This, my friends, has been another episode of She Who Rises, where we celebrate the women of the ambitious ladies of London community who are leading with wisdom, with heart, and with courage. Until next time, my friends, keep rising, keep sharing, and remember when one woman rises, we all rise together. Thank you for joining us.